Good day to all my fellow marks out there, and welcome to the wacky and wild world of professional wrestling, the only form of entertainment where the most dominant and menacing faction are dressed in fresh Hanes white t-shirts. Grab yourself a drink and a snack, kick your feet up and relax. You are now listening to the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to episode 29 of the that wasn't an echo, that was me just emphasizing 29 has gone so quickly. But episode 29 of the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast. I'm Wrestling Mark, and I'm just really happy that I got to see Swerve and Hangman on TV this week, because apparently that never fucking happens.
It's mad, isn't it? That you got one man to thank for that, and we won't say his name. He's been working his he's been working his bollocks off for that. That's all he wanted. That's all he wanted was Swerve and Hangman on TV.
Yeah. All he ever wanted. It was so innocent. And that's all he ever wanted, and he finally got it. We finally got Hangman and Swerve on our TV for the first time in, checks notes, 7 days. So boom.
I mean, hey, listen, he worked so hard. He got what he wanted. I mean, it cost him all of his credibility. I mean, any that he had to begin with. But you know what? I mean, he worked hard to the point where he's a fucking parody account now. But, you know, good on him. You know, dreams come true.
It's a wild, like, again, like I do try to dip my toes into that platform as little as possible. Obviously, I've got a account I've had since like 2009 that I very rarely use apart from for football news. But I had to have a little look over it. And it's just honestly, that the community over there is just so cooked with it. I'll be honest, I didn't like the herd mentality on it. Like, I felt it ended up being bullying. I thought that a lot of people jumped in because they could. And that's what I find, that's one of the things I found so toxic about being on that space over there, is because there's just so many not particularly nice people. And when they get the chance to have that herd mentality, to be part of what they perceive to be the cool gang, they jump on it. And that's what they did. I didn't like it.
They can't help themselves. I mean, I seen one where they were a group of people talking about that situation and saying, look, it's irresponsible to put these rumours out there. You shouldn't be doing this. And in the same fucking breath, they start a space talking about Britt Baker and how they're glad that she's getting fired and all this. It's like,
mad.
Is that not like the same fucking shit?
The double standards is horrible. Like, these people, like, they're like, again, like, not going to be in a psychologist or anything here, but you look at the behaviours, the patterns of the people on Twitter. So many of those accounts display the same characteristics, and you think they probably got bullied in school. They don't have very affluent social lives, and this is their not just their social life, but maybe it's a way for a lot of people, I feel, getting back at, I was treated like shit, so I'm going to treat you like shit kind of thing. Because it's horrible. And like Sean Rossap had him to rights. Like, he got pissed off. He got very angry. Again, I didn't go into what had gone on that much before, but you can kind of get the gist of it. And I know, like, I know that everyone has said that Ibu kind of killed him with kindness. Like, I didn't hear that, but everyone was kind of saying that. But again, it's all of the followers of those people that have then jumped on. Like, mind your own fucking business. You haven't got to jump in and call someone a cunt because someone else is arguing. You can just shut up and listen. But everyone jumped on, and rest in peace, I suppose, because it was the end of the end of it, really.
Do you know who isn't a cunt? Ben Bishop, Big Trouble. And he was supposed to come on.
What a compliment!
He's actually a really sound guy. He was supposed to come on the podcast. If you're listening to this, Ben, we are very sorry about this week, but he has agreed. He has agreed to come on next week. We just had a few issues this week, so we're really excited to get him on. He's sound and he's a funny lad as well. Got a few questions there from the Discord from him, so it should be a good episode. Next week, hopefully.
I'm going to be loaded up with a few questions as well. I'm quite looking forward to that one. It should be very good, because he's full of personality, and that's what you want on these podcasts.
He is, and like he's what I've said before about some of these guys. He's trying to get traction, however he can. And people call him a TikTok wrestler or a Twitter wrestler or meme wrestler, whatever the fuck he was on about the other day, actually. But like, at the end of the day, he's trying to get traction. What do you want him to do? Just sit there and whinge. He's trying to get traction. He's trying to get his name out there. Fair play to the fella. It's no, I wish him all the success, possible, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
And another guy we're getting on the podcast, actually, who will be on the episode before Grand Slam, is Sam from the AEW Match Guide podcast. Being an Australian, it would be good to get his views on the card. It seems to be taking shape now, finally, after months of it feeling like a fucking house show the way they were dealing with it. But yeah, that should be good as well. So, couple of good episodes coming up, hopefully.
I think so.
Speaking of good episodes, as we're recording this on the Thursday, last night's Dynamite. Personally, I fucking loved it from top to bottom. I thought it was a brilliant 2 hours. It flew by. Didn't want it to end. There was so much to unpack. And before we do unpack it, I just want to say for a lot of criticisms of it, and I know people jump on and they don't like the Death Riders. That's fine. But for people that were criticizing other aspects of it, this sounds belittling. I don't really give a fuck. I just think it's got a lot of stuff goes over people's heads. I think that they're just not really getting things that require more thinking than Vince McMahon especially ingrained in us that we need to do, because there is so many things going on, and what's going on with Hangman Page right now is very deft, but it's fucking brilliant. And I find it very confusing when people can be critical of certain things. I'm critical of the amount of like match time and main events that Cope's getting at the moment. But to be critical of anything with Hangman Page at the moment, considering what they're doing with him and how slow they're burning this, and considering how brilliantly it was executed in 2020 with him, I'm lost for words. I don't know what the right thing to say to someone is without being really patronising, or just saying that I think you're a fucking idiot if you're not really getting what they're doing.
It's what frustrates me the most about it is they talk about him like he's just been cast aside and not used, and like he's had long periods of time out due to a new arrival in the family. For God's sake, he's been out twice. He was out with an injury. Besides that, he's always been part of he's felt to me like the main character. The only time he probably was fucked over and kind of put to the side a little bit was when they put the belt on Punk. They felt that was the right business move. It clearly wasn't, and backfired. He should never have lost the belt. But aside from that, he's always felt to me like the main character ever since that first title match when he lost to Jericho.
Are you telling me that he dared to have time off because he had a child?
Oh, no, it's shocking, isn't it? Like, it's
bastard, man.
How the fuck nonsense. What was Tony doing, booking him having a fucking child, man? That's a disgrace.
You're talking about the ultimate long-term booking right there.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. But no, Mark, sometimes you got to be fucking honest. Like, I know you don't want to sound too mean or whatever, but no, sometimes people are just fucking idiots if they can't see what's being done with Hangman, right in front of our faces. Like Andy, we said before we came on live, like a lot of WWE fans, they're used to having everything just handed to them on a silver platter, like they know what everything at the jump. But with AEW, when you're watching certain storylines, you have to pay attention. Like, not everything is gonna smack you right in the face. It's little hints, little breadcrumbs that you have to follow. And like you said, if you're not a complete fucking idiot and you pay attention, it's as obvious as what the goal is for Hangman in the long run. But we'll get into that a little bit down the line. But let's talk about the start of Dynamite. I mean, can you say that this was the best start to a Dynamite in the 5-year, the 6-year company's history?
It's one of them.
It's up there. I mean, again, you've as time will be kind to us on this, because you always remember the things that are freshest in your memory. But when I watched that last night, I thought this is fucking brilliant TV. I'm sure there's some over the years that can compete with it, but in recent memory, there's nothing that jogs my memory that was that first 18 minutes, whatever it was. Even the first 35 minutes, because I love the tag title match. The crowd were hot. The crowd were really good throughout, I thought. And yeah, well, just honestly, like seeing Omega back in that kind of position as well, like doing big boy shit. And like I see people moaning about them being in the mid card, like Ospreay and Omega were lost in the mid card. Like Takeshita and Fletcher are two of the upcoming stars in the fucking business, not just in AEW. And this will be, I think I said it last week when they flirted with it. This could be the greatest like normal tag team match ever. It could be so fucking good with the 4 people involved.
It's insane, isn't the potential of this? What's mad as well is that we got this basically it was a mini Anarchy in the Arena, and we got this because travel plans were fucked. That's fucking brilliant.
Amazing.
Like, I hope everyone's safe. But if travel plans get fucked again in the next few weeks, I ain't gonna be, I'm not gonna shed any tears.
Well,
Well,
I
here's
never.
the thing for the American crowd that's listening right now. I mean, everyone's knows like if you're in the middle or east of the country, the fucking country is frozen right now. I mean, listen, I'm obviously I'm here in New York. Like I've either it's been the low digits to the middle teens. Basically, with the wind chill factor, is in the fucking negative. I got friends in Minnesota where it's -20, -25. So like the flights have been a fucking nightmare. Like depending on where you're going, it's fucking like 2 feet of snow some parts in Florida right now. So yeah, I mean, fuck the travel plans messing things up. But we were supposed to get the Samoa Joe and Nick Wayne match last night, but travel plans you know uh cancel that match. So we'll probably get that down the line. But yeah, depending on where you are in this country, you're literally fucking frozen right now. But hey, for what all things considered, like last night's episode was great, and like you said, the show started with a little mini anarchy in the arena, and
It was, man.
yeah,
It was great, man. It was fucking brilliant. Out of nowhere as well. Like I didn't expect it to start like that. That was fantastic.
yeah, and then I don't know if you guys caught this. I don't know if I should share it in the group chat, but I'll give her a shout out. Shout out to Muir on Twitter. Like I'll give her a shout out on Twitter as well. I don't know. Did you guys see her with the poster of the pick your Kenny Omega
Yeah, that was fun. That's
sign?
brilliant.
Like
That's
yeah,
that
it
was
was like
quality.
Street
Yeah,
Fighter 2
yeah.
inspired. It had all the different Kenny Omegas through his entire career. It was fucking brilliant. I love that creativity with with signs. But yeah, that
Did it
that that whole first segment was amazing though.
did it have the Kenny Omega that's never been treated as a star by AEW?
Yeah, I know. Like you said, he's never been the Kenny Omega with 4 fucking titles was not
Was
treated
that
like
one
a
on
big
there? Yeah.
fucking deal. Like fucking insane.
Okay, now.
Fucking
No, it was
fucking
great, man. That
fucking gold. Fucking fake gold. That's all I'll
you,
say about his name. Fucking fake cheap ass gold.
you couldn't get a better start than that. So the
Yeah.
Callis family looks menacing as fuck right now. They've rejigged a few things and they do look great. I mean, the Murder Machines tag team are just fucking monsters. I think Brian Cage is phenomenal. I'd love to see that guy get a proper push down the line. Takeshita, as we know, is just fucking next level. Kyle is on his way to that if he's not already there. And then you've got Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega, the two best wrestlers in the world. Like for me, I think Kenny Omega is possibly the GOAT. And how can you start better than that?
I
You
mean,
can't. You can't. You can't. It's Kenny Omega coming back, and there's no delay in it. We're not going to go slow with him. We are going to go straight in to a massive feud when he's fucking moonsaulting off things from 15 meters, and the fucking director's missing it. And yeah,
That pissed
it
me
was
off.
great.
Okay, now that was a
Honestly.
negative. That annoyed the shit out of me. I was like, "What are you doing?"
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I'm all for that. I know the chaos of it, but like, surely this is one thing. When you sat there in rehearsals before and you sat there going through your running order, you've gone right. Omega's going to do a fucking moonsault off here. Like, we're not missing Kenny Omega doing a moonsault off of the fucking second tier, basically. But oh no, we are going to miss it.
But
Cool.
Kenny Omega climbs the support structure, whatever the fuck they're called. You ain't moving the camera from there because you know he's gonna fucking do something off it.
Yeah. It's
Stupid.
it's a bit annoying, but again, a very small down and one that only one person responsible for. So well done, director. But
yeah.
apart from that, honestly, it was so good. It was so energetic. It was everything that when I watch AW, I think no one else when you do this can do anything anywhere near this well executed, this gritty, this brutal looking, this well structured. It's when I watch it and I think this is a wrestling show for adults. That's what I think when I watch this, and that's what I am. I'm an adult sitting there watching a wrestling show. That is exactly what I want, and like I felt like that for the vast majority of this show as well because I enjoyed so much of it.
There was so much. I mean, obviously we'll get into it, but there was so much of the show that was like expanding stories, pushing them along, and just dropping little crumbs for other stories. It was in terms of going forward, it gave us so much to look forward to. This show left me excited, really, really excited about what's like. Usually, I'm excited anyway because I love the shows. I've told you before. I have a 70% kind of view of things. If 70% of the 2 hours hits for me, I'm fucking happy because it's got to appeal to so many people. That's a good ratio. Quite often it's higher than that. Sometimes 80, 90. So I'm usually excited anyway. But coming away from that, I was like, I can't wait for Collision now, and I can't wait to see what happens at Dynamite. And Grand Slam is taking shape now to the point where it's a must-watch instead of feeling like a half-assed house show.
Yeah, they've had to have learned from the original All In that, like, when you're going somewhere for the first time, you're going to have, I don't know what they'll end up having in there, 16,000 maybe, I think it'll probably be. Like, you've got to give these lot a good time because you need to make them want to come back for more next time you do go over there. You can't risk this being an actual house show because there's too much at stake for AEW. There's no, you can't really do what WWE do when they go to Clash at the Castle and put on a really half-assed card because the WWE, it doesn't matter what they do. You're AEW, everything you do is scrutinized 10 times more. So they need to go there and it needs to feel must watch, and it's definitely starting to feel that way. They've got long enough. After this, you've got 5 weeks is it until Revolution? So there's a big enough time, like to let Revolution take a back seat for the time being and focus on this.
And already now the card, I know that there's only 2 matches I think officially at the moment, but already that card's actually looking exciting. And if you paid the money, you'd start to feel like, okay, now I'm going to get me money's worth. You got the tag match now, Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay against Kyle and Takeshita. That's going to be fucking incredible. You've got the women's world title match, Tony against Mariah. We don't know what's going to happen there. I have my theories. I've told you about that. I think she's acting, and I think Timeless is going to come out. I also think Megan Bain is on the side of Mariah because just the way she talked about it when she came in on that casino was very, like, Mariah can act, and that was very, like, she hammed it up to fuck there, talking about the graphic and everything. Oh, what's she doing here, kind of thing, So I've got a theory that she's going to help Mariah. But no, so anyway, there's loads to look forward to, and other stuff that they hinted at throughout the rest of the show that we'll get onto. So if you bought tickets for that and you're an Australian excited for it, as Sam was when we were talking the other week, and they had no matches announced. Now finally you can start to think, okay, now I'm going to get me money's worth. This is going to be fucking brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so next we got the tag team title match between Private Party and the Hurt Syndicate. I thought it was a very good match. Unfortunately, I think we can all agree that Private Party's tag team reign was very lackluster. Didn't really have a much,
It was rubbish.
It was rubbish. It was shit. Honestly,
it felt pointless, to be honest. I don't feel like they should ever have got the belts in the first place. I feel like it was a
token gesture.
Yeah, I feel like it was like, they deserve it. They've been here from day one. Instead of actually, these guys are hot, get the belts on them. I feel like they should have probably had a lot more of a build-up than just randomly 1 week having a match against the Bucks, and then randomly a week or 2 later saying, okay, we'll want one more and we'll split if we don't. And no, there was other tag teams in a position. As we always wax lyrical about the Outrunners, they had been building up and building up and building up. Would have been a far better choice for me. But we are where we are. Hurt Syndicate are absolutely on fire. They're over as fuck, and that was a damn good match and the right choice for me. I feel like they should hold the belts for a while, though, to be honest.
Yeah, they looked fucking good yesterday. They felt good. They felt brutal. They felt like a team that should Private Party. It was a nice moment, but I'm sorry, I don't think one specific moment is enough for like one of your major titles, especially a title that needs rebuilding, that has struggled for a while, a division. And yesterday, let's hope this is a reboot now, because they are going to be fucking hard to beat. And you can't go put in, no offense, Top Flight against them. You can't put lesser tag teams against them. They need to be big, beefy boys. They're fighting all the time. So that's where it should be fun. They're already flirting with being faces already, because they're anti-heels. They're so over. The crowd chanting, we hurt people the whole match, was brilliant as well. Thought that was a great touch, and it sounded eerie and daunting. It sounded threatening. It's worked brilliantly. They need a long title reign now. I don't know who ends up taking it off them down the line, but I want to see hard defenses, like TV defenses against the Gates of Agony. I want to see big matches against FTR, because that match could really slap if they just beat the shit out of each other. And whatever other tag teams they put together down the line, like this should be a reign that lasts until at very least All In.
I agree. I'd like to see him up against the Murder Machines, to be honest. If they are
That's gonna
leaning
happen. That's
towards
gotta
more
happen,
face
yeah.
than anything, because I just want to see get some use out of the murder machines other than them just turning up every now and again.
Yeah.
A bit of a backstage scuffle, helping Takeshita, and then fucking off again.
Yeah.
Brian Cage is criminally underused for me, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
go on, Brian.
Brian Cage is the perfect hand. I think that any company will have because, like I said, he could any wrestler you put him in there, like whatever you want Brian Cage to do, like make him look good, put him over. Like Brian Cage is the guy that can do it for you. But I mean, as far as the tag reign for the Hurt Syndicate, like I wouldn't mind, like, let's say, if you mix up the match styles, like, obviously, the Murder Machines would be good and the Gates of Agony would be good. But I wouldn't mind, like, let's say, a random match, like, with Top Flight, because guess what? Like, I know we've seen them before. I'm not saying that they're ready to compete on that level, but it's a great comparison of styles that would make, like, Sheldon and Bobby, like, look that much more dominant and greater, like, for that type of match spot, and it's good to have variety. You don't want to have the same type of matches with the
True.
same type of teams, like, so I wouldn't mind, like, an eventual, just as a one-off match with Top Flight, because you throw in a couple hope spots for Top Flight, but yeah, they'll get obliterated, and fucking Dante Martin will be thrown off the damn ceiling of the arena, by Lashley. It'll be a great showing, but I mean, in the way you look at the division right now, it's kind of taking form in a reboot in the sense, like I said, we have the Murder Machines, we have the Gates of Agony that got called up recently. We know the Outrunners are there, FTR is there, and the new tag team that's on this scene right now in the Hellhounds. Is that what Brody and
Hounds of
yeah,
Hell,
Brody
yeah.
and Buddy are going by now?
Hounds of Hell. Yeah,
Hounds of Hell, yes.
they said there's no leader. They're just going to do whatever they want, kind of thing. I love that. No, they don't need a leader, and I love the way they reference Malachi Black as well. We were being told what to do, and now he's gone. It's okay. Oh no, now he's not answering, or now he's disappeared, something like that. But yeah, okay, that's one way to get rid of him, I suppose.
I like good. I like, again. He was someone that, and I was sort of watching NXT when Malachi was there, but I never really got him. I never liked him on the main roster, mainly through bad news. I was excited when he came to AEW, and I've been relentlessly underwhelmed by him. Whereas I'm always like, I've always loved Buddy from the first time I saw him. If he left, I'd be sad. He'd be someone I'd be genuinely sad has gone.
Same.
And Brody's someone I didn't know before he came to AEW, who I just fell in love with within 2 or 3 matches and thought, this guy's cool as fuck. Top guy in real life as well. Clearly, brilliant moral compass, really nice guy, and a brilliant wrestler. Can have just such a good match with so many different people. So good luck to them. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. And yeah, that tag match down the line would be fucking great.
Same. The two of them are fantastic. I think the ceiling on both is really fucking high.
Massive,
so I
yeah.
would love to see them get a push. Whether they're going to do tags or not, I'd still like to see them do single stuff. But
Yeah.
maybe they go with a tag for a while they establish that they're not part of the House of Black anymore. But yeah, whatever they do with them guys, I'm going to be really excited. Another tag team that we didn't mention that would go really well against the Hurt Syndicate, and I actually would prefer than Top Flight, because I feel like I love Top Flight.
Russian Andre.
Yeah, exactly. Russian Andretti have replaced Top.
That'll be good.
They've replaced Top Flight for me in that kind of area now, and I think they've got so much potential then too. Leo Rush is phenomenal, isn't he?
Leo Rush, I'm still jury's out on Andre. I'll be honest. Leo Rush is someone, again, from the crap he got given when he was in WWE and how hard he worked to get that over, and just the fact that just the way he can bounce around, the way he sells. I'm always happy to see a Leo Rush match because I know I'm going to be entertained.
Andretti, I think, has got all the talent in the world. He's shown that the lad can go. He just needs he needs a gimmick, essentially, because ever since he got that win over Jericho, he's just looked wooden as fuck whenever he's on TV, and I just feel like he's not been given any real direction. Made the third wheel of Top Flight. It's the third wing even of Top Flight. It just doesn't. I feel like he's not been given anything to really sink his teeth into. So hopefully the stuff with Leo Rush will work, and we can get a good tag team out of them, because the division really does need. We're talking about this 6 months ago. We're talking about it now. The division is just shite overall. It needs something. It needs a shot big time. And these guys being tag champs with some credible challenges. That's what we need. That's what we want. I say we. That's what they want. That's what I want to see on TV. Yeah, don't let me fall into that the we.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. It's great, and yeah, Hounds of Hell. Very excited to see what they're going to do next.
And another thing like the Dynamite did, it laid something else out. Like again, we're talking about something at this point where we're barely into the show. We're probably in the first 50 minutes still, and we've got like a big match for a Grand Slam laid out. We've got Ospreay and Omega's alliance, which will clearly run beyond this because it's going to end up being intertwined in the very top storyline in the company, you'd imagine, probably soon after, probably going into Revolution, I'd imagine now, wouldn't surprise me. We then got new tag champs and a new direction for the division with these monster big bastards with the titles, which, let's be honest, hasn't happened before. We haven't had a team that you think, okay, they're going to go on an unstoppable run as tag champs. It was always going to be every title holder so far. It's felt that they're not the writings on the wall as such, but you never thought you're going to get a year's reign out of someone. With these two, you do think that now. Great shift for that division, and the match was really good as well. And then we've obviously got what you just mentioned there with the backstage promo. So there was just everything had real purpose at this point. There was nothing in this show that was just there for the sake of it. There was no match for an exhibition to be a good match. This was 45 minutes, 50 minutes, whatever at this point of real like purposeful TV.
It was excellent. It flew by as well. You can always tell when you're like, fucking hell, half an hour gone already.
I remember looking at the time and it was 1:50 English time in the morning, 1:50 AM, and I thought, fuck, it's already nearly halfway through. And it's a good show when you're pissed off about that because you kind of think, I could do a 3-hour show tonight. I could have 3 hours of this if this is good.
Well, when we spoke about our favorite matches of the year, that's why I always go back to the Ospreay MJF match because it did that with me. I was watching it at 1 a.m. I was thinking, I'm fucked. I watched the first 20 minutes and then watch it tomorrow. And then before I knew it was like 10 past 2. I was like, oh fucking hell, I might as well fucking stay up now. So it does when a show gives you that feeling, and it feels like your time's just fucking gone. It's it's a good show at that point.
Yeah.
You talk about you could do a 3-hour Dynamite. I was like, don't put that energy in the fucking world, man.
Oh yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, listen, 2 hours is the sweet spot. I mean, as much as we love AEW and this episode of Dynamite, I don't need a weekly 3-hour.
No, I don't want a weekly one. It was just last night. I just sat there and felt like I don't want this another hour of this. I'm having a good time. It's been a long week. I'm having a good time watching this. I don't really want it to end so shortly, but again, it was a testament to how entertaining it was. And then, we don't really sit here and go through things blow by blow account, but I mean, I think considering that most things felt like they had real purpose last night. Next up we had the Swerve and AR Fox match, which was fine. It was a decent match, not particularly memorable, but again, we've seen Swerve. We've finally got Swerve back on TV, so I'm happy. But the post match stuff again with Ricochet, attempting to potentially murder Prince Nana backstage was noteworthy.
Yeah, but before that, we had the AR Fox kind of almost trying to make up with Swerve. Is he going to back him now? Is he going to be? Is he going to not join Swerve, but is he going to be watching his back when this goes down, or is he going to stab him in the back again and side with Ricochet?
Yeah, layers.
I mean, yeah, layers, and also it's you got those three involved in a sense. It's basically a Lucha Underground reunion of sorts.
Yeah,
with those three. So yeah, man. And even the promo by itself by Ricochet, you could tell that he's just so much comfortable in his skin with this role that he's in. Just as a talker, as a character, it just is coming off as natural and nothing forced. So I think that's to his benefit as well. That's what's going to push this program going forward. And I can't wait to see what we got in the match in 2 weeks in Atlanta.
That's going to be fantastic. I can't wait.
Right. So next, correct me if I'm wrong. We had the. Do we have the MJF promo next?
I think I might be wrong, but did we get the backstage Jericho segment?
Oh yeah, that came first.
That was fucking great. I'm a big fan of Big Bill. This was fucking all I've been asking for weeks. Well, for months since Cardiff. Finally, we're gonna get it. It's got to happen, hasn't it? Surely. I mean, you lads must think the same. the way Jericho was pulling that face at him when Bill was making it, giving the whole nicey nice thing, and he's like, well, what the fuck are you doing? And Brian Keith as well was eyeing him, and then Bill's going to lose to Hobbs, and finally we're going to get them beat the shit out of Bill, and we're going to get a face Big Bill, take down the fucking learning tree, chop them down. Let's go. Tony, can we book the next show in Cardiff, please? I think Big Bill's brilliant. I think he's another one who's got so much. He's not been used to his full potential at all. I'm not sure whether they were waiting to see if he is completely on the straight and narrow or not. But he's clearly got his life together. Listening to interviews with me, seems like he's in a fantastic place. I would love to see him get a push. I'd love to see him be the one to beat Jericho for the Ring of Honor title. Actually, go through Brian Keith, and then that will be someone really elevated from this.
Yeah, and then it serves its purpose.
Exactly. Let's get him, and plus, like I say, there's so much potential there with Big Bill that you could go do going forward. And Hobbs is going to get another win on Saturday as well, which I think, which is what he needs, because we need to keep the Hobbs momentum going as well. After recent weeks, that's been something AEW have been guilty of in the past, is maybe just taking the foot off the gas a little bit when somebody's getting a bit of speed going.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It's going to be a parking lot brawl, right?
Yeah, it is.
That's what they alluded to. Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, Hobbs did tell him to meet him in the parking lot in Jacksonville. So yeah, that'll be good. I mean, they don't miss. They always do good with those type of matches.
Well, they're always delivering. It's a kind of match. I mean, yeah, it's an interesting one because I mean, I still assume Hobbs wins it.
He has to win it.
Yeah,
he has to win. There's no benefit in Big Bill beating Hobbs with the help, because on his own, there's definitely no benefit, because you're killing Hobbs's momentum at the moment.
Yeah.
With the help of the learning tree, what does that do? That just keeps us plodding along with the same angle. It's about time now to kill the learning tree story. Have Big Bill win and have it just being about Big Bill beating Jericho.
Yeah.
Preferably on a Ring of Honor pay-per-view, but I don't know when the next one is. But I'd hate seeing the Ring of Honor title on fucking AEW TV.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's time for them to take the next step with both Bill and Hobbs, and the move is, I think, for Bill to take the ROH title off of Jericho. But like you said, I'm tired of seeing the title on AEW television.
Yeah, no, totally. So that segment anyway worked for me. It was probably only a minute or two long, was it? And it got me excited, because I think we're going to get what I've been asking for, which is a Big Bill turn. Let's go. And it's live. I thought it was taped, Collision this week, but no, it's live, isn't it? So that actually makes me think something will go down.
Probably, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't. I mean, they do try to have. I think when I looked at, I think about 70% of the collisions are live.
I mean, that's what disappointed me last week, was it being taped, and we had the Acclaim breakup on a taped collision, so everybody knew it was coming. To me, that's something that you probably should have done live. Yeah, but I guess they've got to use whatever time they can get, haven't they?
It's a tricky one, because I mean, like, I don't like pre-records. I never feel anywhere near as excited to watch a pre-record, even if I avoid spoilers. It's just years of practicing with, especially with WWE. Fuck all happens the majority of the time on a pre-record, because you don't want spoilers to get out there. And so I do always go into a lowered expectations. I actually didn't know the Acclaimed were breaking up before the show, because I managed to avoid absolutely any spoilers whatsoever from it. But yeah, having a live show adds so much to it. I get it. It's Jacksonville. I feel they'll go big with this one. They tend to do something big in Jacksonville every single time. The last time they were there, I think, was when we've got the first Casino Gauntlet, if I'm right. I might not be right on that. The tickets are selling well for this, for a Saturday Collision as well. I think they're going to blow their last couple of appearances at Daly's Place out of the water. So that's always a promising sign, because it's always been a bit of a shitty market. Again, I'll go back to I'm not sure if it was Punk MJF. They had a huge main event there back in the peak in 21-22 and had about 2,000 in there. So it is quite a tricky market for them. It's not that heavy on AEW, even though they're based there. But again, it's home. They're calling it a homecoming. I think they'll go big. I think we'll get a brilliant parking lot brawl between those two, and we'll probably get another couple of like big moments in there, as it's Jacksonville live. branded as Comin, and again, they know that at the moment they can't risk putting out a 7 out of 10 show because then they'll get told they're putting out a 3 out of 10 show.
But speaking of the tag teams we were just mentioning, I'm just looking at the card so far now, and it's Buddy and Brody against the Gates of Agony. That should be good.
Meat. There'll be a lot of meat chance during that match.
Yeah, and we've got the 3-man tag as well. Danny Garcia and 2.0 against the Undisputed Kingdom.
It'd be quite cool to see 2.0 back in the ring. Not seen them for a while. Menard will probably get a massive pop now because, again, when you go on the commentary and come off it, you always get received really well, didn't you?
And Parker should get a good reception to coming back from paternity leave. So
what's Tony doing booking these people having babies again, man? We've already been through this with Hangman. Stunted his career putting that story out there.
No fucking Parker, no fucking Ruby Soho, like, yeesh.
I mean, the thing is because it's selling relatively well. I think the pattern tends to be is they will announce the card very late for this because we've already sold quite a lot of tickets here. Let's do a late push. People that are not decided on the day, they know they'll drop them down to 20 quid the remaining tickets. Let's drop a couple bangers there and try and get a few more people through the door, which I'm sure they'll do. The ticket, it is. I'm just looking at the ticket map now, and it's probably already outsold the last time they went there. So, and that's a nice telltale sign of how things are going when they start selling again. Because again, if you take the very, very nasty and poisonous noise of Twitter out of things, like I don't see what the issues are now. The TV deal's in place. The attendances are clearly up on what they were like during the summer. They're clearly up probably 20%, I'd say, on average. Pay-per-views are incredible. There's not really much to complain about. Well, obviously there is, but you can complain about things. It's weird if you think that everything's great. If you do, all for it. Congratulations on being so easily pleased. But it definitely feels that, however some people want to try and frame things, it feels that things are pretty good at the moment. Even though the couple of average shows to start the year, like not every show can be a 9 out of 10. I think genuinely, again, I'll say the run since Full Gear probably the vast majority of it's been great.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. Yeah. Get a commander match there on Saturday.
We haven't had much mutual work lately, have we? Like, I haven't seen Mortis. I haven't seen his hologram injured. We haven't seen Commander for a couple of weeks. Let's get them on TV. Otherwise, Tony Khan should sell the company. So that's the way I'm going to see it now. If the person I don't want is on TV for 2 weeks, Tony Khan should leave. I think that's fair.
He should hand over the reins to Scott.
Yeah.
Isn't that the go-to thing that people throw out there for no?
I mean, it's got to be the Bischoff. It's got to be the Bischoff. It has to be. You've got to give it to Eric. Eric's the only one that can save AEW. It's pretty obvious. It's probably obvious that a man that had one good idea 29 years ago and has since sunk 2 companies and has no reputation whatsoever and gets bantered off by a 67-year-old historian on Twitter every week. It's pretty obvious that that's the man to save the company, right? I mean, that's the guy that what's 250 million a year. He's going to get you 700 million a year. He's Eric Bischoff. He's a genius.
I think that Tony should go for Vince Russo because that way our prediction of David Arquette might actually come fucking true. You'll make him the champion again. God.
Yep.
See, whenever anyone throws out all these WCW comparisons from WCW 2000, 99, whatever, I was a diehard WCW fan then. I fucking know what it was like. There's nothing like that. It's nothing close to as bad as that was. That was a fucking shit show.
Oh, it was fucking horrible. And I was gonna say, like, if Vince Russo ran AEW today in 2025, he would book a triple threat with David Arquette, Will Ospreay, and Kenny Omega for the title, and he would have Arquette double pin both Ospreay and Omega like Roman did to Daniel Bryan and Edge a few years ago at WrestleMania.
Oh man, don't put that in.
Oh god, I'm sure the fan reaction would be so positive with that visual.
Yeah, fucking hell. So where did we go anyway after Jericho's promo and setting up Big Bill for his future run of as Ring of Honor champion? What was next? Was another promo, was there, or did we go straight to? No, it was Jarrett, was it?
MJF came out. Was it MJF next? MJF, Jarrett. No, the MJF and Hangman bit was that next, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, MJF cut a promo on on Jarrett, and then at the end of MJF's promo, Hangman's music plays, and then you get that that brief stare down between Hangman and MJF. So that's something to look forward to in the future potentially right there. And
Oh,
then we had a squash
definitely.
match. We had a squash match with Hangman versus I don't remember the fucking guy's name because the match only lasted about 30 seconds. And a little brief note after the match, Hangman picked up the opponent and hit him with the Angel's Wings.
Yes, it's a
Yes, hit
new
him with,
move to his Arsenal now. Yeah.
Yeah, he retired CD and took his move at the end. And speaking of Christopher Daniels, he came out to the entranceway, a small little promo Hangman. Hangman approaches him, gets a little face to face, but Christopher Daniels just saying he basically in the most commonest way possible said that doctor said through his injuries he suffered last Saturday on Collision. They advised him that he is never to wrestle again, so that is the official retirement match of Christopher Daniels' career. And basically, C said that he tried to help. He's been trying to help Hangman, but he failed. And he congratulated Hangman on his victory. And this line right here, you could go back and watch this line, and you can find the exact moment where the flip. I mean, the switch was essentially flipped in Hangman. All he told him was, "I hope you can be happy now," and you saw the expression on Hangman's face just completely do a 180 in a sec, like where it's just you see the expression, and he's just having that kind of brief moment of like clarity or second thought, and he shoves the camera away from him, goes in the back, and that's it. When you go back, when we're 4 to 5 months down the road, you can look back at that moment right there, and that was the moment that, yeah, where Hangman's face turn started right then and there. And
I think you go
yeah,
back. I think you go back further than that, mate. Because like this has happened a few times, and it's a testament to how good a fucking actor Hangman is, and how much detail these guys are putting into this. Because he did the same thing, if you remember, with Swerve after that cage match when he stood on the ramp when Swerve's lying with a fucking needle in his fucking jaw, half dead, and he just had the look on it. He gave off with just his eyes this look of almost like, what the fuck am I doing? And he's done it a few times when he's turned up and interfered with Mox, where he's kind of done something. I think it was it in the there was one Dynamite or pay-per-view when he turned up at the end to make the save, and he ended up beating down Jay White, I think it was, or Orange Cassidy. And again, it was a look of like, what the fuck am I doing? And he's done it a few times, and it's there's so much going on in Hangman's performance. It's fucking unreal. How can people not realize this guy is the main character? It's insane. And even with Jeff Jarrett, who I think is going to be involved in this again, like he did it with Jeff Jarrett and the Owen. If you remember, this whole thing ramped up because of the Jeff Jarrett thing and the Owen. Jeff Jarrett tried to have a chat with him and tried to calm him down, and that's when he fucking flipped, and they ended up having the match. All these things are linked. They're all coming. It's all coming full circle now.
Like, if you're one of those fans, those specifically AEW fans that haven't figured out the reason behind the pushes or just a spot in the cards for like a Christopher Daniels and a Jeff Jarrett over the past, not just few months, but the past half year, like you said, with Jeff Jarrett back in the Owen last summer and Christopher Daniels the past few months. If you haven't seen their ultimate purpose in the company, like like I said, the past few months or half year, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, listen, with this promotion of AEW, you have to pay attention to what is going on. You have to follow. You got to pick up on the little breadcrumbs that they drop here and there, the little hints, the little winks and the nods that they're giving you here and there. It's not like when you watch WWE programming where majority of it is on a silver platter for you right then and there, that you know where everything is going now or where it's gonna go down the road. Like you said, with Hangman at the top of the ramp at all out, like you said, with Swerve with that needle in his mouth, or helping out, or coming to help out Jay White and Cassidy from the Death Riders on that one instance. Like, he's having an internal struggle within his brain because, yes, he's done some heinous things, but at the same time, I think deep down, like, we know the real Hangman. He's not a bad guy. He's not a villain in a sense. So you're seeing this like this internal strife, this internal struggle play out in real time. And like I said, when Christopher Daniels last night said, "I hope you can be happy now," you saw like his expression was something clicked, something it just went off in his head. That, like I said, he had that moment of clarity where it's like, maybe that's the starting point. Like, yeah, we've had those little hints in the past, but now this is like kicking the tires, like starting the engines of like kind of like a computer reboot of the sense.
Well, as you know, I said I wanted Kenny Omega to be the one to beat the shit out of him and wake him up. Now after last night, I am perfectly happy and excited for Jarrett to be part of this. And MJF, because that's where it looks, where it, as though it's headed for me. I can really see it being a case of Jarrett being the one to, almost, being the experienced veteran that he is, try and talk him around, and MJF beating the fucking living shit out of Jarrett to the point where he's half dead, and then setting up Hangman MJF. Hangman's maybe still not fully face, but look, if you want to turn someone from, half face, tween, or whatever you would call him, to fully baby face, MJF's the one you want to put them against, because that guy can fucking turn anybody.
Mm-hmm. Listen, when it happens, like you said, whether he's a tweener or a face, I'm not even going to call him a face or a tweener. He's Hangman. He's whatever he's going to need to be. And oh my God, when his original music first hits our ears, or that live crowd's ears, they're gonna fucking erupt. Like, they're gonna lose their shit, because not like, we say that Hangman's the main character. Yeah, that's very true. But also, with the story that's going on right now with the Death Riders, he's the hero that the company needs.
Yes.
There's no other logical choice. Even with the return of Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay, there, as great, as awesome as they are, from a storyline standpoint, it really wouldn't make sense if one of them were to dethrone Mox as champion. It really wouldn't. That would be, what that would be right there? If one of them won the championship, that would be Tony bending the knee to the fucking whining and crybaby fan base on Twitter and social media. That would be the result of that if it were one of them to beat Mox for the title. No, everyone who's been screaming, pivot, you got to pivot the past month or so since Omega's been back. No, stay the fucking course. And like Andy, like you said, and I agree with you. I think the course all along was for it to be Hangman, to be the hero in the end, to defeat the Death Riders, to take the belt from Mox, to save AEW, because not only is he the main character, he is the hero that the company needs. Because when Hangman is right, look at not just AEW, but the whole grand scale of professional wrestling. Who's a better babyface and hero than fucking Hangman is?
There isn't one. There isn't. Ooh. And when his music hits, we are all going to fucking lose our shit. And I would go as far as, as part of this turn that I'm kind of, dreaming up in my head, I would go as far as to have, when he eventually faces MJF, I'd have MJF beat him. And I'd have Hangman then off TV for a month, so that when he comes back, we get that fucking out of nowhere, like we did, because one of my favourite moments in AEW history, one thing that did, if you talk about restoring the feeling, what is that feeling? That feeling for me is the moment when Hangman came back in that ladder match, in the ladder casino, whatever match it was, for the title shot, as the Joker. That was fucking amazing. Yeah. He'd lost his match against Kenny, he'd gone. And he was gone. And yeah, we knew he was going to come back as fans. But story, he's gone. No one knows where he is, what he's doing. And the Joker, his music hits. Everyone lost the fucking shit. And you could see in that ring John Moxley's face All the other guys, they had a look of, oh, for fuck's sake. And John Moxley had that look when Hangman turned up in the main event scene a couple of months back. If you remember, he was. It's the one man that has made John Moxley shit his pants. And I think that, like, again, we may be completely wrong on this, and they may stick the belt on Darby Allin in fucking 2 years when he's climbed Everest, and everyone's bored of the Death Riders even more. But I just don't see it as a viewer watching the story unfold. I don't see that at all. I've never seen that. All I can see is things linking to Hangman being the main guy, and I don't see how other people see anything else. To be honest, I don't get it. But that's the way it looks to me. And what will make it even better is if they give this fucking Death Riders a shot. We'll talk about this in a bit, but if they give it the shot it needs, and just a couple of it, because all it's like, people are moaning at the moment about it being quite, it's just the Death Riders beating people up again at the end. It's like NWO light. Did you not watch the NWO? Because I did when it was on live, and that's exactly what it was. It was them beating the shit out of everyone. And the only difference is they added more new members by now. And I think that's what the Death Riders should have done. We should have had a big turn, whether it's Orange Cassidy, which I still think would be the biggest and best one for everyone involved, or whether it's FTR, which, as much as I've been moaning, thinking that rated FTR is going for a while, I don't know. I'm starting to believe that maybe FTR have got something going on here.
Thing is, because you and I especially have been talking about new members since Full Gear, and like they should have the mistake was World's End. It needed a new member, and they didn't get one. That was a big issue, because that was the time to do it.
Yeah, it 100% was, and I feel like that's why people were so deflated with the Cope return, because people expected something bigger than a Cope return. People were expecting a turn, a new Death Riders member. You could have had Cope return and start getting on top, and then someone turned and beat the shit out of Cope and ended it like that. But for some reason, they wanted to end it on a happy note and send everyone home happy, which I don't feel like the fans deserve to be happy half the time. But no, Eddie, as someone who enjoyed the original NWO run, that's exactly what it was. It was just misery every show. They would always be one step ahead, and it would be the NWO beating the faces at the end of the night. That's what it was. It wasn't anything different. Sorry,
do you think that if you had no social media access, do you think that your opinion on this would be different, or do you think the general perception of it would be different?
I think the perception of people will be, and if you speak to any of your friends who watch wrestling, if any do, that don't use the internet that much, which I have spoken to a few people I know who watch it and don't kind of read up all these things or use Twitter and Blue Sky and all that shit, and their view is completely different. But at the same time, they also don't get hung up about fucking Cope being fucking a 50-year-old ex-WWE guy. They don't get hung up over a 2-minute Jericho segment. They don't get hung up over fucking, Jeff Jarrett, talking fucking shite, trying to match MJF's fucking scumminess last week. They actually enjoy these things. And I feel like the internet does try to like the internet. People on the internet it's like they're desperate that people have to have the same views as them, so they want to take away any enjoyment you have because they didn't enjoy it themselves. So you can't enjoy it.
And it's important to say that again. I hate having to bang the drum about this, but it plays such a pivotal role. This is very much a Twitter dislike as well. This is a massive 100%. Thing that Twitter have got their asses over about. And it's mainly, let's be perfectly honest, it's mainly that. It's mainly Twitter that have a problem with it. I wanted to do it. I did it earlier on for simply because I wanted to do a little poll on this just to see like what people think in general on Blue Sky about it, and far more people are enjoying it than aren't enjoying it. And the fact that
100%,
the fact that I don't know what the ratings are this week, but I know last week it was a really good rating compared to what recently. Again, we've been being on Max. I know it was pretty well received. It's clearly being far better received on the whole. The fact that you saw the arena last night, that was a far fuller arena than we were getting last summer. And this is the main storyline. And the one thing is, if someone like, again, I'm just throwing names out, someone like Ebru doesn't like it, his followers therefore then don't like it.
Exactly.
That's what happens. And he's entitled to not like it. I get why some people might not like it, but the hyperbole over how bad it is or whatnot is nonsensical. Do I wish it was further along? Absolutely. Am I still interested to see where it goes? 100%.
But that's exactly what it is, and it's the same with a few other podcasts podcasts that I like and people that I actually generally like listening to, but because they don't like it and they hate it, all of their followers then decide they hate it as well, and it's ridiculous, man. It's such a sheep mentality. I mean, like you say, is it perfect? No, is it bollocks perfect? A lot of stuff is never going to be perfect. Would I change some things? Yeah, I would. But is it as bad as people are making out? Is it? Fuck. It's nowhere near as bad as people are making out.
No.
We talk about the people reference the ratings as for it's shit because ratings are down on 2 years ago. Well, cable's down on 2 years ago anyway. The ratings have actually. I might be wrong on this, but I remember Dave Meltzer saying they're actually tracking around, maybe slightly lower than the drop in cable anyway. People are moving to different options. They're moving to Max. They're moving to Triller. Whatever. Like, so I don't feel like that is a good barometer on how much people are actually enjoying the shows, because you can have a great show and it gets shit ratings because unless someone's watching it, they ain't gonna know it's great. No. A lot of the problems AEW have are more around the general perception and their PR and media side of things. And in terms of ratings, like you've said yourself. You've looked into this yourself. Ratings, not ratings. Ticket sales. Ticket sales are actually on a whole where they were originally. Bear in mind you got 2 shows a week now. Yeah, it's actually they're nowhere near as bad as people are making out. Especially when you see the fucking prices they're trying to charge for these things.
Yeah,
Ticketmaster and whatever they do with AEW's tickets are a fucking joke. I know we said this before ourselves. I ain't buying tickets day one again. No fucking chance.
No, when Forbidden Door, I'm leaving again. I'll look at the first day sales and then I'll make a decision. Right, I'll probably have to act sooner rather than later. If it's gone, they sell like 12,000 on the first day, if they probably realistically sell 8,000-9,000 on the first day, I will literally wait. I will potentially leave the house having not bought a ticket to go to the show. I'll buy one on the tube. I'll get on my Wi-Fi and I'll buy one 2 hours for the tube, knowing that I'll get what was probably a £200 ticket for 70 quid.
Well, all in was a similar situation where I think I bought a ticket for 150 quid. It was a 250 quid ticket. I got that actually on a resale. And then by the day of the show, they were going for 50 quid. And as you know, Cardiff sold out. But I paid 250 quid for my tickets.
And Cardiff is a ball ache for a lot of people to get to. That's the thing that Americans might think, well, it was only 4,800, whatever in there. Cardiff on a Wednesday night is not a particularly pleasant journey to get to from any other major city. It's 2 hours from any other major city, realistically, isn't it?
And I paid 250 quid each for my tickets. No, 180 quid I think was each for my tickets. And then 2 weeks before the show, you could get first, second, third rows for that.
Yeah, that's what I did. I got the cheapest ticket.
Yeah, so I ended up swapping in the end, but it's just that, like, when tickets are when fans are being treated like that by these ticket companies, you can't blame them for the walk-ups, because that's exactly what you would do. I mean, like, why would you pay extortionate prices for tickets the day they're released when you know you can walk up on the day of the show and get them for 20%? It's just stupid. Like, if AEW just reduced the ticket price across the board, they probably sell a hell of a lot more early.
Oh, 100. The tickets that are now 60 in 2021 were like $20, $25 tickets to start with. And that was an issue.
That's something that people don't bring up, is the fact that they have raised the ticket prices a lot and they don't give a fuck. I mean, I can't remember who pointed out. It might have been Meltzer, it might have been someone else, but someone pointed out a while back that they were making more money off the shows selling less tickets. Probably because the price was charged.
If they were getting 5,500 in, paying an average of 30 quid each, they're now getting 3,000 in, paying 60 quid each. It is more profit still. It's an ugly visual, and again, people are going to be able to turn it the way they are. But there was a period definitely when they were literally getting half the crowds, but taking more money through the turnstiles, because they were there. They were kind of, I suppose, taking advantage of their core audience, knowing that they've got a certain amount of people that are always going to go to those shows. They know that wherever they go, they will have 800 people to 1,000 people that on day one will buy the expensive tickets at full whack because they want to go there. They know they'll do that. And then they know that they'll gradually drop the prices 10% every 5 days, building up to the event for big drops just before. And then they'll get through again, they know they're going to get probably 2,500 for Collision. And they should always be aiming for near 4,000 for Dynamite. I know it doesn't happen very often. But they know they're getting enough through that they're happy with it. The arenas they've chosen this year have been perfect because it's lit up. It looked great last night. Looked strong. If the official, because it's funny that I didn't realize that the official figures are just what wrestle tickets do. So it is proper guesswork for like 500 each way. And if they come out and try and say there's like 2,500 in there yesterday, they're full of shit because there's clearly a lot more that were there yesterday. You can see from the pictures that there were a lot of people in there yesterday.
I just think a lot of the negativity that goes on, it's not really, reflective of the wider audience. It's the IWC bubble, like it really is. And like as I say, you speak to people who aren't perpetually on the internet, they will have a completely different view of these shows than the people on there whinging. And like, YouTube views are actually doing really well on the Death Rider stuff. And like, people will be saying, well, YouTube's not a great metric to use. It's not, but it's one of the metrics they'll use. They'll use every metric available to them. And if YouTube views are doing well, then you have to consider that.
100%. And like again, we talk about the metrics that always get thrown about are the outdated metric of ratings, and again what people like, what AEW fans specifically like. And I don't care, if I'm being honest, what AEW fans on Twitter say they like, because they're mostly going to be sheep. They're going to get backed into a corner. They're going to realize they want their engagement, and they're therefore going to shit on AEW. The pattern's been repeated by numerous accounts with 5,000+ followers. It's boring. Whereas Blue Sky tends to be, I know that people talk about toxic positivity, and there are a couple of accounts that do that. But on the whole, it's people that enjoy AEW. That seems to be the consensus. People have gone there because they don't want to sit there and talk about fucking metrics and graphs and what. They want to talk about wrestling, right? And so I did a poll earlier and said basically the Death Rider storyline, like about 100 people so far have replied, which is quite a decent number on there to get a general consensus. And so of roughly 100 people, 46% of people said they liked or really liked the Death Rider storyline still. 30% of people say they are kind of teetering, they're not sure, and only 24% of people on there say they actively dislike it. That's less than 1 in 4 people are disliking it. So it's still the fact that the ratings were probably up last week. The fact that no one seems to be complaining apart from Twitter about it means that whilst there's definitely flaws in it, it's nowhere near the doomsday that some people want to really shove down our throats that it is.
And look, let's be realistic. Nielsen ratings are fucking bullshit anyway.
Oh, they're pointless.
Yeah,
estimated. Like, why is an estimated rating based on a set number of boxes in people's homes a good indication? Compared to something like YouTube, it's not. Like, it's clearly worse because YouTube is tracking what's actually watching it. And Netflix's ratings that they're throwing around now that WWE are. They class, if you've watched it for like fucking 5 seconds, they class that as a view. So it's all bullshit. You might be fucking just putting Raw on. You might be like, oh fucking hell, this is dog shit. Why is this cunt saying yeet every 5 seconds? Turning this off. And then but then you're classed as a fucking viewer for the show, for the entire fucking show. So it's all bullshit. Like, it's all smoke and mirrors. WWE are great at it. AEW are shite at it. That's where they need to improve, in my opinion, in terms of their PR and visual. But it's a company that's 40 odd year old, has a monopoly on the industry, and is a fucking machine in terms of the whole organization and TKO against compared to a company. And I don't know why AEW always compared to as well. This is always something else that baffles me. Like, why are people so obsessed with comparing the two? Because the other one is a 5-year-old company that is far smaller overall. And is putting on fucking incredible shows, more so when you consider the size of the company. It's nuts.
Yeah, man. Listen, like we said before. I mean, compare the live reactions when a Jeff Jarrett comes out to the Twitter reaction. Like I said, thank God that Tony Khan is. Well, any booker should be booking based on the reactions of the live crowd, the live audience. Like, if you live chronically on Twitter or any social media app, like your opinion if you're saying boo or to whatever act that's on television every week, well, guess what? If that act is on television every week, it's probably for a good fucking reason. And like I said, when Jeff Jarrett's music hits, the majority of that crowd are on their feet. They are reacting positively. Because you could go back to last year during his run in the Owen and his story, that 9-minute promo video that I remember they released on Twitter. He came off as a sympathetic character, talking about his relationship with Owen Hart. And credit to Tony and AEW. Like, damn, did any of us here think that we would be interested in Jeff Jarrett in the years 2024, 2025? No, the fuck we didn't. And if you did, you're fucking lying. If you're being honest, like, I mean, listen, like, people. I saw idiots think that, oh, he's gonna get a John Cena like farewell tour, like, retirement tour. No, the fuck he isn't. All right, listen, he just said this is his last year as a professional. Like, he's not gonna get like this crazy, throwing flower petals on the floor everywhere he walks type of retirement tour. Like, everything that he's done so far has made sense, and I think he's fit perfectly. I don't think he's in a role that's overshadowing anyone else. I mean, and listen, he's worked with perfect people from Hangman to now MJF, and like you said, he's a perfect vehicle for when he's getting beaten up and battered by MJF for Hangman to come make the save in. That's his role right there. He is just a cog in the machine that's gonna push Hangman back to superstar and hero mode when we get to that point right there.
Look,
like it's
if someone came to me and said, "Look, Jeff Jarrett, I've just found out he is actually going to win the title," fair enough. I'd say, "All right, this is fucking shite. I don't want to see this."
Yeah,
but he's not. He's clearly not.
No.
And like everything that he's doing is integral to the stories. The MJF thing last week, it went too long. It went too long. But there was a real, and people are so angry about it. And like, I get why. I do get why people are angry. And it maybe they could have used some more, some different insults. But the way, and I might just be looking for the good in the shit, to be honest, by seeing this. But the way I see it and what I took from it was that Jarrett was trying to not trying to. He was out MJF and MJF. He was going lower than MJF because anyone who knows the history of Jeff Jarrett knows that he did MJF's fucking shit before MJF was even born.
Right.
And that's why for me I took when MJF was saying all the fucking scummy things to Jarrett, he was laughing. And initially you think, well, he shouldn't be laughing at this. He's not selling it. But the whole point was Jarrett. It was like water off a duck's back to him, and then Jarrett hit back with even fucking lower scummy shit. And the only thing that did fucking get anything from Jarrett was when he mentioned Owen. That was when it was like, okay. He says shit about his wife and all this, and Jarrett's just like, yeah, I've heard it before. I've done this myself to everybody. As soon as he mentioned Owen, that was when he fucking flipped. And I thought like that part of it was almost skipped over by a lot of people because of the anger around the content of the insults and the fact that it did go too long. They could have easily done it, 4 or 5 minutes less, at least. I thought it played well, and it served what its purpose. It was what it was supposed to be, for me anyway.
Andy, they fucking today, Fightful had to come out with a fucking story today saying that there were no plans of Jeff Jarrett winning the title. This is how fucking stupid this fan base is. That so many of them, idiots. So many of them actually thought there was a real fucking chance of Jeff Jarrett winning the fucking title. That Fightful actually had to come out with a story today. Yeah, there are no fucking plans. To that, I said, yeah, if you have half a brain, no fucking shit. It's fucking free.
MJF is not there to put Jeff Jarrett over. Jeff Jarrett is there to contribute and put the other guys over as much as he can. That's what he's doing. It's quite clear if you listen to him talk on any of his podcasts. That's the kind of guy he is. He's not there to try and fucking take the limelight and fucking get a little run himself. I mean, like fucking, they're all like, well, I say they're all, most of them are like this. It's nuts. Why do people think he's coming in and he wants that title run, or they're going to give him it just out of sympathy? They're not. Because they did it with Sting. All right, yeah, it's fucking Sting.
It was the tag titles. It was the tag titles.
It was, and it's fucking Sting at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I love Jeff Jarrett. He is a fucking legend in the sport. But Sting is fucking Sting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a fucking difference, like.
Sting is on more. Sting is on more of fans' Mount Rushmore than I guarantee you Jeff Jarrett is. Like that.
Yeah.
That's just a
Oh,
that's just
gotcha.
a bona fide fact right there. But yeah, and then so real quick. So the plan.
One quick one, guys. I've just had a text. I've got an exclusive. There are no plans to put the world title on Ric Flair. Just that's straight from the Fucking hell.
God.
That one, that's put me at ease because I was a bit worried with all these 50-odd-year-old ex-WWE guys.
Fucking insane, dude. But yeah, nah, so now the plan is the match that's set up for next week is because later in the night Jeff Jarrett came out, he cut a promo, about his aspirations to be AEW World Champion. He called out Mox, he challenged Mox. We heard the music, but it was Claudio that came in that attacked Jarrett, put him down for uppercut. Basically tell him to stay down. Don't you don't want any of this. But Jarrett got back up and he had a proposition. He told Claudio, "Yo, I beat you, then I get my title shot against Mox." And Claudio accepted. So next week we have Jarrett versus Claudio. If Jarrett wins, he gets the shot at the World Heavyweight title. I've seen people talk about this match that next week MJF should cost Jarrett the match against Claudio. Right there. I say no. Jarrett should beat Claudio next week. Give him the title match because it will piss off the fan base even more, which I'm gonna fucking love. But it makes perfect sense from a storyline. From a storyline perspective, give him the title match. You give Jarrett that one hope spot where it looks like, oh my god, he might actually beat Mox for the title, and then MJF screws him right at the finish line, right where he thinks he's about to win. He screws Jarrett right then and there, breaks his heart there, and then boom, you get the one-on-one match eventually between those two. MJF is basically unaliving him on television or whatever, and that's when Hangman comes in for the save right there. That is the perfect storyline progression in my opinion. Why the fuck would
I agree.
Why the fuck would MJF cost him the match with Claudio next week? No, get him to the title match with Mox. Get him to right as he's about to cross the finish line, about to win the title. Boom, MJF fucks him over right then and there. His one and only chance to win a title has been dashed, has been thrown away. You get the one-on-one match between MJF and Jarrett, and I hope that it's like 75% MJF just beating the shit out of Jeff Jarrett, leaving him in a pool of blood. Yes, that's the way to go. Like
we need what I say what I want to happen before that. Like, I want that to happen. What you've said. And I want Jarrett to beat Claudio the luckiest possible fucking way ever imagined, or even a count out. That'd work. Anything. Disqualification, whatever. I want Jarrett to win somehow, but with Claudio absolutely destroying him all the way through. Maybe MJF is watching and he's just loving it. He's enjoying it. And then he's pissed off and shocked when Claudio actually loses. Something like that. I don't know. But what we need is another interaction between Hangman and MJF. Because the funny thing is, like that a few people have mentioned, these are the two people in the company that do not forget. They do not like people getting in their way. Mm-hmm. Hangman does not like MJF. Will not like MJF having been in his way when he's wanting to go to the ring to squash somebody. And MJF will not like Hangman coming out and taking his fucking airtime. And so we need another interaction with them just to fucking get the sparks going on this and let it bleed into the Jeff Jarrett MJF stuff. I think there's potential there. It's fucking brilliant for this. And it could be the spark now to get Hangman on that little upward trajectory in terms of becoming the Hangman that everyone wants to see win the title. I do. I think that's. I agree with you, Brett. I think Jarrett needs to win somehow, but it has to be realistic. He can't just go out and beat Claudio because Claudio is a monster.
Like it's Claudio is like 60-70% in charge of the match, and maybe who knows? Maybe MJF inadvertently distracts Claudio. Because maybe MJF thinks he's on the verge of winning, and boom, surprise roll up and cradle. Jarrett grabbing the ropes for leverage. The ref can't see. Boom, 1, 2, 3, and guess what? He gets a shocking pinfall victory right then and there, and that's maybe the title match.
Maybe Jay White comes out and twats Claudio.
Maybe.
I wouldn't say no to that. I'm loving Jay White still being involved in this main event scene as well. And I think you have potential there for Jay White against the Death Riders down the line at some point, with the Death Riders getting on top, Jay White being on his own, and then you've got the return of the Bang Bang Gang when they're all fit. I think that'd be fucking great to get a matchup between them. Then that you could get a really good, Anarchy in the Arena, that kind of thing, out of it in a pay per view, or even just a 3-man with the Guns and Jay White if Juice isn't fit. Maybe going for the trios after this, after they move on from this, and when Hangman hopefully gets that main spot.
The main spot, the main character, the hero, the AEW needs.
We've got so many different directions. This is it's fucking good, man. We've got so many different directions. We don't know what path it's going to take. I love the unpredictability. WWE have always been you know what the main event's going to be at WrestleMania, probably 5 months out most of the time, 6 months out. I like the fact that you don't know what way it's going to go from 1 week to the next. I don't see how anyone can have any actual complaints about that, if I'm being honest. But there we go.
Well, we've gone over the men's wrestling so much here that we had a great fucking segment with Harley, Cameron, and Mercedes. It was fucking brilliant, wasn't it?
Gold. It was everything about it. Even Mercedes getting a little bit involved in it.
Yeah.
I don't know if this means that Harley racks up a couple of wins and gets a match over there. I'm not sure.
It's happening. It's got to happen. She's got to lose as well, because she's nowhere near that level. But it's got to happen. She deserves it, man. And she's got a bit of fucking Tenacious D about her, man. The way she delivers songs. She had a little bit of Jack Black's delivery with the singing. It's fucking excellent.
I want her on my TV every single week without fail. She's done an amazing job of making the most of her minutes to make herself someone who's just going to become more and more over. And again, she's not bad in the ring. If she gets objectively good in the ring, she's a superstar.
I think turning the face as well is probably a good move, which is what they seem to be doing.
100%.
But I did say today about this, I like the idea of it just being completely random. Kind of split personality almost. Just one day she's good, one day she's bad. She doesn't give a fuck.
The beauty is she feels into any feud. She can slip into any feud seamlessly then. And
she can pull it off as well. She's character wise and a delivery and stuff. She could easily pull that off.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Before that, we had the segment with her and Tony basically being as Australian as they possibly could. I don't know how you found that, Brett. Myself and Mark probably understood it because we've over in this country we have a nation that's been obsessed with Australian soaps for years, so all the lingo was pretty fucking second nature to us.
Yeah, I mean, I found it funny, but I guess I was out of the loop for most of the lingo, listen, the bit with her Mercedes was great, and I just loved all the little bits in there, hey, 4 belts is bad for your back, and
that was
stuff
great,
like that.
Yeah,
that was great, but like you said, I would assume the next couple of weeks, let her rack up a couple of wins. And obviously I think she should get the match against Mercedes in Grand Slam. Of course she'll lose, but I mean it'll be the best showing. And listen, it's Mercedes, so it will be the best match of Harley Cameron's early career. And you know what? I wouldn't even classify her as a face. Harley Cameron is the type of character that whatever situation you put her in, she's gonna knock it out of the park. Regardless. And Andy, I love how you bring up that she has a little Tenacious D, with her playing the guitar. Now in my head, yeah. I would love a segment if they could somehow get Jack Black involved, have them do a damn song to her. She'll be imagine her in the back playing on a guitar, and then out of nowhere fucking Jack Black is just just singing and ad-libbing with Harley Cameron. That would be such a fucking great just a little crossover segment right there. I think that would be a home run for television.
It would. And then with the women actually getting the usual one match a week that they seem to get for some bizarre fucking reason. We got Jamie Hayter, Julia Hart, second match, and it was a lot better than the first match.
They went out there with purpose, didn't they? They went out there to prove a point, and I think they did a really good job of it, if I'm being honest. I thought it was a much better match.
Yeah, I didn't like the first match. It wasn't difficult, to be honest. I feel like Julia was way off it in the first match for me, but she had just come back from an injury, so that's what it is.
She's 23 years old, which people will never take. 23. Yeah. I was a proper child at 23. Like things aren't going to be perfect.
And And we might, we may get the third match. Jamie on the mic afterwards, suggesting that she's waiting if she wants the third. So they may revisit that down the line. I'd rather they didn't for now. I'd rather they do that when Julia's built.
They don't need to revisit it anytime soon. But I like the fact that she did throw it out there. Whenever you're ready. And listen, like Mark said, she's 23 years old, and what I love about Julia is that she has, how do you say, the look, the presence, the aura down, if you want to use that word. Like, yeah, she has that stuff. And listen, look at who she's surrounded with. She's surrounded by Buddy and surrounded by Brody. So, like, as far as like her in ring, she's just gonna get better just because who she's around with, who she's gonna, who she's traveling with, and I'm sure they also train together a bit. So I'm not worried about her progression at all. I mean, damn, like I said, she has all the other important stuff. Like I said, presentation, or just like how she handles herself, how she talks, and all that aspects. Like, I mean, like you said, at 23, she has that down pack better than a lot of 30 and 40-year-old wrestlers. In today, like they would kill for a smidge of charisma that she has at such a early age, and it's just fucking crazy to think about what she broke in AEW. She was the fucking cheerleader. She was the fucking cheerleader. At what, 19 or 19, 20 years old?
It's fucking nuts, isn't it? And like, and like, it's so frustrating just getting this one women's match every week though, because like they need reps. They need reps. They need. Some of them have got so much fucking skill, but we can't see it, and they can't improve because they're not getting reps on TV. It's all right in wrestling elsewhere, but to improve as TV wrestling, you would assume you have to wrestle on TV, and they're not getting the opportunity because we're stuck with this fucking solitary one women's match a week for 10 minutes, maybe 2 on a Collision if you're lucky. It's stupid. I don't get it. It's got to be a WBD thing. Maybe the higher ups prefer it that way. I can't see it being a booking thing because, like, the crowd do get well into some of these matches. I don't get it.
No, I think it's a booking thing, and that's something that Tony has to change. Like,
just think because, like, I don't know, man. Because, like, I can't see
someone needs to stand up and change something because, again, like there's when women are cycled in and out so often, it's very hard for them to get momentum. And there's realistically like 12 odd women that I want to see on TV a lot more than I do. Like, how often is Mercedes relegated to a backstage segment? She probably turns up for one show, does her on-air thing, then probably records the next 3 weeks things backstage, just saying out the name of the town and doing her promo with people. Like, there should be more promo battles with the women. We've got 4 hours of TV a week. We're having probably across that 11 matches, two women's matches isn't ideal, and it was only 3 when we were having 16 matches, including Rampage. It's if it's a Warner Brothers. If it's a TK thing, whatever it is, it's shit. And it's so boring that even now we are still talking about it when we thought we'd have change when Mercedes came in. And we've had glimmers of it. We've had glimpses, but no consistency whatsoever. And it's in the exact same state now. It was in this time last year and this time the year before.
The only reason I assume it's a Warner Brothers thing is because Ring of Honor gets a lot more women's matches, and Dark used to get a lot more women's matches. The only things that don't are fucking Dynamite and Collision. Every now and again, I'll get 2, but they'll be short matches. They just don't get the time that they fucking need, and it's exactly what you said there. They're being cycled in and out, so you forget about a lot of them. They lose the momentum, which is why Mariah's reign has seemed fucking shite because there's not been any real credible challengers out there who've built up enough momentum to go where you go, oh, here we go, this would be a good one. Most of the time, it's just someone they pulled out the back who hasn't been on TV for a few weeks.
Part of me wonders, is TK still, or Warner Brothers, whoever, they still scarred by, they didn't have a very strong women's division when they started. It was very thin on terms of talent. Like, only really Stat and Thunder could hold their own in matches like that didn't have gimmicks. It was a thin roster. I wasn't that appealed by it. I didn't really resonate towards many women at first. Now I do. And I'm sure a lot of people do now. So you need to move with the times. This is not the AEW women's division of April 2020. This is a stacked, deep, very, very diverse roster that is going to become very discontent very soon if they don't start getting their flowers. Like Willow came out and jumped Marina Shafir a few weeks ago. What the where's Willow been with that lately? What's happened there? Why is that not materialized?
Well, Marina Shafir actually is that you know, it's interesting you bring that up because that's one of the things in the Death Rider story that is kind of frustrating me. There's not been anything aside from that one moment when Willow squared up to her.
It's moronic.
And aside from that, she's done nothing. She like if they're destroying everyone, why can't she just turn? Why can't they turn up for a women's match and she go after some women?
No, honestly, it's it's a bit of a head scratcher. But again, this is. Let's be realistic. I hope not, but we'll probably be saying the same thing this time in September. We'll probably be banging the same drum, moaning about it. Forbidden Door's coming to London, and there's one women's match on the card. But there we go.
Yeah, so enough moaning about the women's division anyway, because we'll be here all night. Main event, Brett. What did you think?
All right, main event was Cope versus Pac, and I would say that I think the first half of the match, I think they went a little too slow. The pace was, I think, a little too slow for my liking because I was excited for this match. I mean, I think it might be a first time meeting between Cope and Pac, but I think the pace was a little bit too slow. Kind of took the crowd, which had been hot for most of the night, kind of took the crowd out of it for the most part. But I mean, it did heat up towards the end. Did pick up for a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of felt like maybe if you shave a few minutes off of the match, maybe it would have been a little better. But it was a little bit weird. It was like I said, this pacing was a little bit too slow for my liking. It picked up the last 5 or 6 minutes. I mean, Cope, no surprise, picked up the win. But afterwards, we see on the big screen, we see Moxon and Death Riders in the back. They got FTR tied up on the chairs, and you see Ricky Morton lay face first on the ground with a chair, and bam, the chair right to the back of the head. Which is way better from just having them tied up in the back a couple weeks ago on TV. This is a way better visual. This is what they should be doing. They should be, pretty much killing and unaliving whoever gets in their way. Death Riders come out. They take out Copeland. Mox chokes out Copeland. I'm sorry, Cope. Cope with the bulldog choke, and that's how the show ends. Death Riders end the night on top. And that's how your main event go. Like I said, it was a little bit slow for my liking for the first half of the match. But decent finish towards the end. But that's what I thought about it.
I agree, to be honest. It was really slow. I'd have shaved 5 minutes off it myself. I don't think it needed to go 20 minutes. Or just under. It was that long that I was looking at the time when that match started, and I started to get excited, thinking something big was going to happen at the end because there's no way this match is going right to the end. I was wrong. So we got the typical NWO finish, and as I say, a lot of people clearly don't remember what the NWO was like because this was an exact NWO finish. The good guys taken down in the back, no one able to come out and help. Cope fucked over, and they just destroy him. We move on. It was just it wasn't an amazing finish to what was a really fantastic show. It was quite a depressing ending, but I feel like that's what they're going for. I hope that's what they're going for, with the intention of something big, happening as we get closer to Revolution.
Yeah, we shall see. But like I said, not the greatest match, but kind of your classic NWO finish. Like no help for Cope. A little doom and gloom to end the show, and a good touch of adding Jay White in there as well. You're keeping it around the main event scene. You're keeping you're keeping him fresh. You're keeping him involved. He's not in the background.
They need to keep this up, because this is one thing that we've been critical about in the past, is that they kind of just take the foot off the gas on certain people. And Jay White's been hot as fuck lately. He being part of this main event has actually been fantastic. For me, I've been really impressed with him. And I think it was Mark actually was saying that for him, he's seen Jay White as more of an upper mid card guy. But having seen him in this, he actually believes he can flourish as a main event guy now. I think he's got everything it takes, and I'd love to see him involved in this for a lot longer. One thing I forgot to mention actually that was quite good was how Will Ospreay addressed the fact that they're not interfering in this at the start. Just a little throwaway comment, but it's something that people keep saying. Why is Ospreay and Kenny not getting involved? Well, Will Ospreay did address that, didn't he, at the start with his when he was talking to Kenny, when he said, the Death Riders are running all over the shop. He said, I want to go and try and stop them, but I can't because I've got all this going on. So it's a paper thin reason, but it's nice of them to address it rather than just leaving us wondering why Ospreay doesn't go and help, like you're watching a fucking Iron Man solo movie and wondering why the Avengers don't come and help.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's like you go from watching the Avengers to, like I said, in Iron Man 3, it's like, why the hell aren't
exactly
the
that's the example.
rogue Iron Mans,
That's the exact one I was thinking of. Because I always remember watching Iron Man 3 and being like, he's just been with the Avengers. Why the fuck are they not coming and helping him? But no, so it was good, great, a fantastic show overall. And the Death Riders does need a shot. It really does, but it's not as bad as people are making out. I don't think anyway. And I still think they can give it a shot and give it a bit of a boost and make it something that could be really memorable, especially if, as we all seem to think, looking at it, Hangman is heading in that direction and they're going to collide. So yeah, no, it's another fantastic week and I can't wait for the next show, to be honest. Yeah. So on Saturday, anyway, on Saturday, myself and Mike and a few others are going to TNT, Merseyside Massacre in Liverpool. And very excited because TNT put on fucking great shows anyway. We've got the balcony view, we've got the meet and greet and that, which would be class. Nice. The card's fantastic, and yeah, as you know, Brett, because it's us. We have our logo on the ring, which is class, and it'll be visible on Triller if anyone's watching it live on Triller. Was it Triller.tv? Is it? Whatever. Anyway, it's on Triller Plus. Yeah. So give it a watch. It's a fucking great show. It really is. And yeah, you'll be able to see the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast logo right next to Matt Cardona's whatever his podcast called logo.
So man, we're moving on, man. We're moving up. We're taking some major steps forward, and like I said, man, we're right next to Cardona, so that what that means, right? Our podcast is just as good as Cardona's.
Obviously.
Yeah, man.
If, in fact, I would personally say we have a better spot on the ring, to be honest. So maybe ours is a little bit better, but that's just because I'll be on the balcony and ours will be right below me. But no, so it'll be good. I will. I will probably give a full review next week with Mike when we're back on. But yeah, I would advise everyone to watch it because they do put on fucking great shows, like really good shows. And there's a death match or two, and it's worth watching. Yeah, that's my recommendation for the week for everybody. Watch Merseyside Massacre. So yeah, they also have they have two shows on the Saturday. We have the Ignition Rumble, which is more of the PG show. That's more for families and anybody. So they have that in the daytime. Then we'll take a break. We'll watch the footy, grab some food, probably a Nando's, just to support Will Ospreay's attempts to get a sponsorship. And then they have the main show, Merseyside Massacre, which is for 18s and over, because it's going to be violent as fuck. There'll be a hell of a lot of blood all over our logo, and it will be fantastic.
Nice.
I can't wait. We'll give a full report next week, and yeah, if anyone's there, give me a shout and come and have a beer, because they serve Coors infusion. And in honor of Van Damme being a legend, I will be drinking Coors.
Nice.
So yeah,
like very excited check out TNT on Saturday on Triller, Triller.tv, Triller app. Watch out for the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast logo. Hopefully, nice little bloody spot on there, but not too much blood where it covers our logo. But yeah, man, great shit, man. Very exciting.
GCW are in London the next day, and I think Man Like Darius is wrestling on the GCW card, so who knows? There might be another one or two surprises turn up. There might not be, but you can always hope and be excited for this kind of stuff. So it should be good. And Robbie X is wrestling, man. That guy's fucking phenomenal. He's one of my favorites. Yeah. So yeah, the card itself is fantastic. So
Yeah,
not
what's her name? Megan Bain's on the card too.
that GCW card. Yeah, fucking hell.
Yeah.
She's on the Sunday. Gav's going straight after the Liverpool one. So he's doing a double header.
Nice.
But no, yeah. So everyone, give that a watch, and we'll talk about it next week. And yeah, thanks for listening. Yeah, it's been a strange one being midweek. It feels a bit weird doing it on a Thursday. But if you've enjoyed us rambling about last night's Dynamite, we might do it on a Thursday more.
Maybe.
Yeah. So thanks for listening, everyone, and yeah, I guess you'll hear me talk shite next week.
All right, guys. Episode 29. It's been real. I am that ball bro, your American hero.
And I'm Andy. See you later.
It's live, man. It's live. Shit happens, man. You roll with the punches.
Yeah, take it easy, guys. Thanks for listening. And yeah, we
Peace.
really do appreciate it. See you later.
Later.